Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sav and I've been on a mission to show women that we don't have to restrict ourselves or go on these insane diets to sustain our healthy lifestyle or goal weight. I fought for years personally going on those insane diets. I'm not kidding you when I say in high school, I found a diet on Pinterest where each day you did something different to an extreme. One of those days, I am not joking, I had to eat bananas and only bananas. Yes, I repeat, a banana diet. Seems sustainable, right? Yeah, no, maybe for a monkey. That's why when I started my fitness journey, something had to change. I couldn't keep going this route of extreme dieting or extreme workouts if I ate a cheat meal. I was in this constant reward versus punishment phase, and honestly, I just ended up getting fed up with it. So here is my video explaining what I do, my tips, my meals, and how I sustain it. This is completely my own thoughts and my own experiences. So if this doesn't apply to your life, then don't use it. Remember, your fitness journey is completely dependent on what works for you. Just because it worked for me doesn't mean it will for you. We have different genetics, we have different lifestyles, and so much more. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. Hi, hello, how are we? Happy whatever day of the week it is for you. I'm so happy you clicked on this video and dive into my everyday diet that helps me still get results. I can still be shreddy, but I can also still enjoy a good cocktail, some pizza, burger, fries, extra fries, barbecue and ranch with them. So with that being said, don't forget to like and subscribe to YouTube channel and let's get into this video. All right, I want to start off by saying that no, we cannot ignore the facts with our macros. I don't want to sit here telling you that you can eat whatever you want and still reach your goals because it depends on what your goal is. Of course, if you're trying to be a bikini competitor where you have to get down to a certain body fat percentage, you may want to maybe take into account the macros that you're consuming and how much calories you're burning. But that's not what this video is about, right? We are here to discuss a girl like me that is in a point in her lifestyle, in her life, where I don't want to count macros. But yes, I still like to maintain my physique. I still like to maintain my muscle and reach for certain goals when it comes to my body. But I also want to be upfront that I have cocktails and that I go out to eat a lot and I'm living it up in New York for the summer. And before old me, probably the beginning of my YouTube fitness journey, I would have been like, only do alcohol on the weekdays. I rarely have sugar, put away all the chocolate, where now that's not really my life anymore. So I just wanted to be real with you that I feel like I am living a very balanced lifestyle with my own diet and still able to see certain results. Of course, that requires some discipline when it comes to my exercise, my workouts. There's so many different factors that go into you getting results. But I really just want to share with you on this video, this is my way. And this is how it works for me in a balanced lifestyle. And you're probably like, Sav, what's the secret? And honestly, it's taken me a really long time to get to self-acceptance and get to this point in my life. And I'm still working through a lot of things, you know? I always think there's gonna be a work in progress, that just because it worked for them doesn't mean it's gonna work for you, and they could still be in the process. So tread lightly is always what I say. All right, let's get into the fun part. I wanted to go into my everyday diet and really what I make sure to include in my meals. So first things first is I found a whole foods based diet. Whole foods based diet basically means that it's natural. It came from earth, so it's not processed. It's not modified by humans. That's a lot of fruits, veggies, certain poultry, things like that. That is 80% of my diet because it works well with my stomach. Before, when I would eat a lot of preservatives, a lot of frozen meals, things like that, my stomach was not having it. So I really found going the extra mile of maybe going to the grocery store more often to get fresh produce was going to work for me. So that's the first thing. That's probably the main component of my diet, is making sure it's whole foods. And of course, I still love, a good processed thing here and there. I still have some frozen foods, don't get me wrong, but that's where the other 20% come in. And it's honestly really easy. You could just go to the grocery store and you could pick out some recipes online and just kind of fiddle around with it. And if you were like me, I used to not like a lot of fruits and veggies, and I learned to kind of dress them up and cook them in a certain way that I would love them. Next is cut down on saturated fat and sugar. Like I said, don't get me wrong, I do love my fair share of sugar, okay? My lattes, I love butter, I love it all, okay? But I do try to work on that in moderation. I'm not extreme about it, but if it's something I can cut out of my diet for a couple days a week, I'm going to try and do that. An easy way to do that is just pay attention to the sugar content, read your food labels, guys. And if you don't know how to, so easy, just YouTube it. Okay, next up, probably self-explanatory, but get active. And guys, I know everyone says like abs are made in the kitchen, and yes, I agree to some extent, but we need to acknowledge that if you're trying to get certain results, if that means you need a weight lift, then maybe get into weightlifting. If that means that you are just wanting to be active, then choose a new hobby and get active. I just tried hot yoga and I died. It was fantastic. I've been doing Pilates lately. Never thought I'd be a Pilates girl. I'm not flexible at all, and my core strength can suck sometimes, but I'm having fun with it because one of my goals right now is just to be active and learn to love fitness again. I honestly fell off of loving weightlifting, so I'm just trying to find my way back. And so right now, my goals isn't to gain a ton of muscle like it used to be. So, moral of that story is get active and move. Next up is do not get thirsty. What I mean by this is drink your water. An easy hack that I have been doing is when I wake up first thing, I chug one of these water bottles before I even touch my coffee. And if I want another cup, I have to chug another portion of this water. I'm just always carrying my emotional support water bottle. Even when I fly, I empty it out, and then usually you could go to a Starbucks, or they have a water faucet at the airport, and I always just fill it because nothing is worse than being dehydrated and flying. So just make sure that you are also getting thirsty. This could also be a hunger cue that you may be extremely hungry even after you had a meal, and it could be you're just simply dehydrated. Next up is I try to choose whole grains versus white breads and things like that, because whole grains has a lot of nutrients that's going to help us and also keep us fuller for longer, where white bread tends to be stripped of all those nutrients. It's also more processed, so I always try and go the route of doing more whole grains. Of course, I live a little, I like the sushi rice, don't get me wrong, but if I'm eating at home, I usually always try to buy brown rice or whole wheat bread. Next is track your diet, and what I mean by this is not necessarily count your macros, but if you're feeling sluggish, lethargic, maybe gassy, bloated, whatever it is, all you have to do is just write down what you ate that day, and then just notice if it's a pattern every time you're eating it. It is so incredibly helpful. I've even noticed things like peppers and onions. I try to avoid them in my diets because they make me feel really bloated, burpy, and just kind of lethargic. I don't really know why. I haven't gone to a dietitian, nor have I done an allergy test, but I've just picked up on those little things and just eliminated them from my diet, so I feel so much better. Oftentimes we think that we have to count our macros to be successful when it comes to tracking your diet. Sometimes it's just simply finding what works for your body and how it processes it. Lastly is incorporate more protein into your diet. Protein keeps you fuller longer, and I feel like we neglect it a lot. I know I'm guilty of it. I always lack having protein, so it's little things like making sure I have a shake after I work out, or always just acknowledging some form of protein in your meals. It doesn't even have to be meat, quote unquote meat. It could also be lentils and nuts. It doesn't always have to be meat-based protein. So keep that in mind, and it doesn't necessarily have to be synthetic. If you don't want to have fake quote unquote protein, like a protein shake, that's totally fine. There are so many natural ways to get your protein in. It also helps you when it comes to performance. Your muscles need protein. So fuel up on that protein, okay? You will see amazing results if you start to prioritize your macros, prioritize your protein, opposed to shy away because you think it's going to make you bulky or something like that. I really hope that you guys liked these tips. Please comment down below any of your tips. Let me know if you liked this at all in general. Maybe I'll make a part 2. But these are kind of the game changers when I first started my fitness journey of changed my everyday diet. And really the moral of the story is I just tried to be more in tune with my body and be more in tune with what I was consuming, because I really do believe you are what you eat at times, and I was constantly filling myself with frozen pizzas, frozen chicken, fried chicken, all that kind of stuff, and I just was not feeling the best. I was feeling really lethargic, tired, did not like that feeling. So I switched my diet to a more whole foods-based diet, and so far, 4 years later, it has been working out for me. And sometimes that's a simple thing you just need to do, is just slowly eliminate those foods and find substitutions that you love. It doesn't have to be boring. It doesn't have to be chicken and rice, right? So with that being said, don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I will see you next time.